Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Different classes have subtle physical differences. And you know, I've been talking about class a lot. And someone else who dipped in, who did a video related to class, Alan Roger Curry, the Grandmaster of Verbal Seduction. And he said something interesting in it, just how like different classes even have different teeth. And it's that deep. It's that deep. And I thought about it some more when I was on vacation the other week in San Diego. You know, my family chauffeur was driving me around. We were driving through the rich section. And one of the things that we were doing, we were looking for tattoos. We were looking for people with tattoos. It was totally different. It was totally different. We couldn't spot one. Now, I talked about that before, and some people say, well, some of these upper class women, they'll have tattoos. One, it's rare. Two, they'll have them well hidden. Well hidden. Because you could tell a lot. Even speaking of tattoos, because I've seen some content creators saying, you know, in terms of having some sex appeal, hey, you got to get a tattoo or something. Depends on who you're dealing with. Yeah, if you're dealing with more lower class women, yes, probably. Yeah, you gotta have some tats or stuff like that. But if you're dealing with more upper class women, you need to be clean cut. And I have some young friends who are more upper class and dealing with more upper class men, and the men, you know, they would be, you know, some folks on here will call them normies or something like that. And that's another thing, just how you looking and all of that. And in fact, in this sector, you know, there's all this talk about Pookie and Ray Ray. Now I'm just going to say it, and I said it 1,000 times. I always get pushback on it. Because I'll say, you know what, those upper class women ain't messing with no Pookie and Ray Ray. Somebody, yeah, I seen one. Yeah, tell me where, situation, and that you know for sure that woman was upper class. You know for sure, like you know her personally. Because like I said before, just because someone is dressed up don't mean they're upper class. Unless you know her personally. Because I said you get a lot of working class or even some women from a poor environment. They might work in a more, like at a law firm or something like that, support. Of course they're gonna dress up and look nice. They wouldn't have the job otherwise. But rest assured, if they got tattoos on their neck or something like that, they would be hard pressed to get a job there. And here's the thing. See, one of the things, and so any licensed sociologist, any professional, anybody who studied that, they'll tell you when you talk about these classes, it's not just so much the economic thing, but it's the behavioral thing. It's what they do, is how much they might work out and everything. In fact, a book right behind me, The War on Normal People by Andrew Yang, who had run for president of the United States, Democrat. And he's doing some interesting things now, but I don't want to get too much into the politics. But he talked about that. When you talk about the differences, when you talk about these more upper class enclaves, they physically look different. See, one thing, if you're talking not just the behavior, but if you're talking about just the physical appearance, well, as I've said before in a video, the more upper class embraces body game. If you drive through any upper class neighborhood, you're gonna see more gyms, you're gonna see yoga studios, stuff like that as you move up in class. And they're gonna be more concerned about health. They're gonna have better food to eat. They're gonna have more access to a dentist. They are going to, like, the children are probably more likely to be playing some type of sport. They're gonna have a lot more. Because when you talk about, I talk about body game and everything. When you talk about physicality, how someone looks, it's more than just, oh, they just work out or they have great genetics. It depends on the food they eat. In poor environments, in less affluent environments, they don't have the best food. They do not have the best food. They don't have the best products. They have a lot of stuff that's quite frankly fattening and everything. You know, they're not going to be in the same level of shape. In fact, that's a big indicator of the different level of class. They're not going to smoke. They're not going to smoke as much. You ain't going to find as many liquor stores. That's going to affect how they look physically and also how they carry themselves. And then here's a deeper thing. Here's a deeper thing. Your physicality and where you carry your weight is affected by your emotional state, especially in women. Especially in women. See, you have a lot of people, especially in this culture, talking about losing weight, losing weight, losing weight. I would tell them straight up, deal with the emotional issue first, and then the weight will just come off. The weight will just come off. I have a friend who just separated from her husband, and the thing she said to me is very interesting. She said she's not holding as much tension in her body. See, I'm gonna tell you what, if you look at some really experts on body language and stuff, they can just look at somebody and tell what's going on with them. In fact, in indigenous cultures, the healers, the shaman, they would just look at someone dance and they can tell everything about them. Because how they holding their body, how they moving and everything, where the weight is. In fact, there's a science, there's I'd say alternative medicine, alternative psychology science. And I actually addressed it in my book, in my video, the five sexual types of women. 5 sexual personality types of women. I'll put that in my description box. You can look at what someone's weight is and get an idea about their emotional state and their personality. You can actually look at how they put on weight and everything. And I know somebody say that's, oh, nah, that's crazy, that's crazy. 100 years ago, being a chiropractor would have been considered like pseudoscience or something. And now you can find one, especially in an upper class neighborhood, on every corner. So it's there. Now, related to how the classes, think about it, you have a different economic thing. Like, let me give you something. Say you live in an environment, say you are more upper class, you got money. First of all, you're living in a cleaner neighborhood. You're not as stressed. A neighborhood where the police response might be before you finish the call. You don't have to walk around with your head on a swivel or anything. You're gonna be more relaxed. You're gonna be more calm. You're gonna be more carefree. Compare that if you're living in a very bad environment where you have to keep your head on a swivel every single second. Any male who's been in that environment, you can go through, like, maybe visit a relative or something in a neighborhood they're not familiar with. Then you're gonna get challenged. You're gonna get challenged. You gotta be ready to fight. That's gonna put you in a certain tension. Women in those areas, they gotta keep their heads on a swivel. That's why sometimes when you see some women who from more rough environments, oh yeah, they want that bad boy. They want that straight up thug, because they realize they can be assaulted. They can be assaulted. So all of that affects it. Like, another thing, when you're living in a more comfortable environment, you ain't worried about your bills being paid or something. But imagine if you stressed out, worrying about if your power's gonna be on, if you can get some food. This whole thing with the gas prices and stuff. Someone who's more affluent, they might not even notice. They say, oh yeah, extra, whatever, fill it up with premium. So what else? It's if they're in a tougher financial position, they gotta be thinking about stuff. They stressed out, they can't just go hang out. See, all of that comes into it. All of that affects your appearance. All of that affects your appearance. In fact, I would say this, and this would be a long-term experiment. If you put 2 people of similar body builds, one in a very poor, rough environment, and the other one in a very affluent environment. Now, they got the similar body builds, very similar. They're gonna look, and they have the same general appearance of vitality. In a year, I guarantee they're gonna look different. Notice I say guarantee. Because one's gonna be more stressed out. One, they probably look older, they probably have a harder look to them, or a scared look. The other one gonna be chilling, It's a lot. It's a lot go into it. It's a lot that goes into it. And I'm sharing that because, you get a lot of people understand, especially talking about relationships, you got the looks crew, but that can be affected by whatever your class is. And indeed, that's something else for guys who are interested in trying to talk to different women or something. Shoot, you can be, if you really learn, you really practice. And let me stop real quick, because I know somebody say, is there a book that talks about it? Get your ass out there. Just go, seriously. And I've told people that though. I said travel to different places. In fact, I've said that in a video before. I say, if you really want to be red pill, sell all your stuff and move to a poor neighborhood. And I said, you will get it. And that's not some bullshit you get online or something like that. Go to a poor neighborhood where you got to live there and stuff, where you got to actually deal with people. It's a very big difference, very big difference. And as I always say, you don't have to take my word for it. Go out there, whatever city you live in, travel to the more affluent areas and just pay attention. Just look at the people. Travel to different areas. That's why I always say, get out there. Don't take it, I'm saying it, don't take my word for it. Go out there and see it. And if you disagree with me, okay, tell me why. Don't just say, well, I disagree. Okay, tell me why. Tell me exactly why, and then tell me what neighborhoods you went through. Now, I'm serious on that one, because one of the things that really gets on my nerves, someone disagree with something, there's, well, I disagree. Okay, why? Why? Tell me your experience. Are you a sociologist? And then I'm dead serious. Have you been out? Tell me what areas you've been in. Tell me the specific area you've been in. Tell me the specific people you've been around. And that's just for anything, not just this, anything. Because I really don't respect when somebody say they just disagree. Tell me why. Because I know when you challenge them, they can't come back with it. Tell me why. That's all I'm asking. Tell me why. You might have seen something I didn't see. So tell me what you've seen. All right? Because I'll say, I had the sociology courses in school. I actually have training, professional training, and paying attention to subtle shit. So, on your tax dollar, or your parents' tax dollars, I put it like that. All right? So, anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.